Alright guys, what's up? It is time for another Drumdums Watches. It's been a couple weeks since we did one. Yesterday I posted on Killer Flicks 3 choices. I did Friday Part 6, Night of the Creeps, and The Descent. And Friday Part 6 won, but The Descent and Night of the Creeps actually did pretty well. Those two were really close. Friday was a clear winner. But there was so much passion, especially in Killer Flicks, about those other 2 movies that what I'm going to do is this week, probably tomorrow, I'm going to do one of those 2 movies. I won't tell you yet. That'll be a surprise. And then I'll do the 3rd one definitely next week. Because I love when people get passionate about these Drumdums watches. And just to give you a little inside track, I just finished up my Chucky review. You can see right there. So that's going to be uploading right now. I'm glad I finally got finished. When you hit that render button on a video, and that's just the best feeling in the world. It really is. Some videos they go quicker than others. It's way too dark in here right now, but we can roll with that, right? We don't mind the dark. We love the dark. We love horror, so it doesn't matter. But I'm going to get the Friday Part 6 disc right now. Here we go. And there it is. There's the box set. I'm going to grab that. Look at that thing. God, that's beautiful. I'm a teenage Frankenstein. Yeah. Oh, but I'm looking forward to getting into this one. Part 6 is really fun. So we're going to go ahead and throw it in, people. Let's get this Drumdums Watches Friday Part 6 going. Here we go. Alright guys, we are ready to roll. I got part 6 queued up here. I'm going to go ahead and hit play now. Do I hit the, yeah, I'm going to hit play now. There we go. And we're starting up. Now many of the previous Friday movies, they would kind of get you up to speed on what was going on from the Friday movie before. This one didn't do that. They did do that one in part 7, I believe, though. But this one, they just hit the ground running. It's Tommy Jarvis, and he's with his friend, I believe that's Horshack or somebody. But yeah, they're going to the grave of Jason, and they're going to dig him up because Tommy is kind of crazy. And Tommy wants to make sure that Jason is dead. Jason caused so much psychological trauma to Tommy Jarvis, and part 5 really spelled that out. I mean, he was completely batshit crazy, out of his mind. It's realistic, but that's not my favorite portrayal of Tommy Jarvis. This is, because Tommy's more grounded. He has just enough crazy in him, but he's not so crazy that you can't be completely entertained by the movie, because that's what part 6 is. It is pure entertainment. By this time in the series, I think the producers realized that there is a lot of tongue-in-cheek to be had with this series. So let's have some fun with it. And they got Tom McLaughlin to come in, and Tom McLaughlin's just a big horror fan, and so he wanted to do that. He wanted to have a lot of fun with the series. He wanted to throw in some little winks and nods to other horror franchises maybe. And you know what, just give you a ride, and that's what part 6 is. It's one of the first really, I guess, self-aware horror films. And I think movies like Scream owe a great debt to part 6. And back then when it came out, we didn't realize that as much. Now, it's glaring. It's like, you know, it sticks out beautifully. And I got to give a big shout out to my good friend CP from Well I Like It Reviews. This is his favorite Friday movie. He constantly, I don't want to say defends, because most people love this movie, but he's constantly saying why this is the best Friday movie out there. It's not my favorite, but it's damn close. This is a great Friday movie. If you're looking for great Friday movies, you want part 2, part 4, and part 6. I guess like Star Trek, the even numbers. But yeah, they're about to dig up Jason right now. So yeah, it's great. We're into this. Also got to give a quick shout out to Dan Wolf. This is one of my subscribers, good friend of mine. He's on Killer Flicks, and he actually works at a radio station in Chicago, and he sent me this DM the other day. On his radio station, they were doing a contest, and the contestants had to do 3 questions. And one of the questions was about the Child's Play series. How many Child's Play movies are there?
She once had a relationship with Robert Pattinson. Who is the star? Kristen Stewart?
Question 3. One of producer Dan's favorite YouTube critics is going through the Child's Play series. Drumdums just reviewed the 3rd Chucky movie. How many movies are in the Child's Play franchise?
I got a shout out in that radio program, so that was really cool. I was blown away by that. I mean, this is a nice station in Chicago, very professional, and I was just floored and humbled. I could not believe that. That was so cool to hear, you know, Drumdums on a radio station. So thank you so much, Dan Wolf, for that. I appreciate that. But there he is. There's Jason. I mean, he looks so rotted. He literally looks just like a skeleton. This is really the birth of the zombie Jason, I guess you could say. Yeah, Tommy's remembering all those bad thoughts, those bad memories that he had with Jason back in part 4. And Tom Matthews, this was kind of his heyday. He did this, and then he did Return of the Living Dead, I think a year later. But Tom Matthews, he's one of those actors that's really, I guess, energetic, and it works for every role that he does. And here's our entrance of C.J. Graham. And you can see how strong Jason is in this movie. He punches a hole straight through the guy's chest. And right away that tells you this is a Jason that is completely supernatural, superhuman strength, will screw you up. And I believe C.J. Graham actually wanted to do part 7, but for some reason that just didn't pan out. But we're about to see the iconic mask here. There it is. Woo! Yeah, that looks awesome. Freaking Jason, baby. Well, I'm in the backyard. It's cold out here this morning, guys. It feels like it's a good 40, 30 degrees. And I can't get Levi to come in. He just wants to sit there by that damn fence. And he's waiting for this dog that the neighbor has. And every time that dog comes around, Levi just goes nuts. So that's what he's doing. Let me zoom in a little bit. There he is. Yeah. Come on, Levi. Want a treat? You want a treat? Come on, buddy. There you go. Here he comes. That is Tom McLaughlin's wife on the right, and there's Jason, and God, I can't remember his name right now. It'll come to me. I'll put it here on the text, but he hasn't aged a bit. He still looks the same. But this scene where Jason puts the spike through the windshield, he almost actually impaled Tom McLaughlin's wife. Yeah, right there. So you can see how it diverted to the left. It wasn't supposed to do that. So luckily she ducked down. Coming up soon is the famous American Express scene. There you go. I'll go ahead and say it. Don't leave home without it. And this was the first of many kind of inside jokes, I guess you could say, or little tongue-in-cheek moments. And here is Megan and her father. Her father was such a freaking bonehead. And there's John Travolta's nephew. He looks a lot like John Travolta too. So now we got the scene with the paintballers, and this is going to be a different Jason because this is one of the first scenes that they shot. This is actually in Covington, Georgia. I almost visited there, this actual site a couple weeks ago, but I didn't have time. But I'm only 3 hours away from it, so one day I'm definitely going to head back over there just so I can see what this campsite looks like. But yeah, like I was saying, the first Jason, he was kind of on the hefty side, I guess, and so they had a change of heart. And you'll see too once they show him. But this is one of the scenes where if you had to pick this movie apart, this might be one of the scenes where they go a little bit too far with the humor. Because everybody has their own brand of humor that they like and some brand that they don't like. And this is really slapstick, this part. So this is the only part of the movie that probably doesn't make it my favorite Jason. But it does have some good kills, as you can see. See, this is what I mean by slapstick. You got this silly, like, military music in the background. I'm a big stickler about music in horror movies. And if they go a little bit too far on the silly side, like, say, in Halloween 5, then it can take me out of the movie. And this guy's a complete idiot. But it's still a fun scene. It doesn't annoy the hell out of me or anything. But we got the three-headed kill is coming up right here. It's a really fun kill, actually. Here we go. That's economy right there. 3 for the price of 1. He just made a big mistake. Nature Valley, all oats and dark chocolate. This is my favorite granola bar. And I like eating these for breakfast because they don't make me feel like crap after. So I'm about to have my breakfast. But right now we're on the scene where John Travolta's nephew is teaching the kids about survival. It's always good to learn about survival. And this is the first Friday movie that had little kids in it. And that's a scary thing. Like, I can even imagine, like, in the script room, you know, and they're talking about ideas and said, hey, let's actually put kids in the movie. It could be really bad because you have to deal with time constraints. You got to deal with kids that really aren't that great at acting. Yeah, there's just a lot of issues there. But they made it work because they didn't use the kids too much. You know, they used them just the right amount just to say, hey, this is a little something different for you, but we're not gonna like completely engulf you in kids throughout the whole movie. And now the sheriff with Tommy Jarvis. This sheriff just has a Jones for Tommy Jarvis. He hates him for some reason. Maybe it's because of Tommy's past, I don't know. But it gets to the point where it almost is like ridiculous. Like, come on, sheriff. People are dying. Only problem with these is the crumbs, they just drip all over the place. Now we got the couple in the woods. They're having champagne in the woods out in the middle of nowhere. Not your best move. And if I was in the woods with my girlfriend and it was like really foggy and spooky like that, I'd probably get the hell out of there. But sometimes, you know, those hormones, they kick in and they take over. Okay guys, I already got a bunch of comments rolling in on Killer Flicks, so I'm going to go ahead and read these real quick. Tim Swope says, have fun. Definitely. Jason Hamilton says, best Jason film in my opinion. Alice Cooper makes this film even that much better. Yeah, as far as like soundtracks go and, you know, use of rock music, I definitely think that Teenage Frankenstein and Man Behind the Mask are just awesome. So awesome. Troy Lee says, woohoo, can't wait, bro. Me too. Dylan Whitmitz says, this movie is great. My favorite is part 3. Part 3 is an awesome one. Oh, big scene here. Big scene here. And she was actually supposed to be in part 5, but she wouldn't do a nudity, so she ended up in part 6. And lucky for us, Debbie Sue Voorhees did part 5. But there's no nudity in part 6 whatsoever, so I don't have to, like, you know, cover up anything. I can show you everything, and it's fine. Marcus Bautista says, hugest crush on Megan. Ginny from part 2 is the best, no doubt, though. I agree with that. Megan was awesome. She's probably my number 2 in the series, but definitely Ginny, number 1. Ashley Miller says, can't wait from Talk Movies to Us. Definitely check out their channel. Steve Bernard says, first appearance of zombie Jason. This marks a shift for Jason from campfire boogeyman who stayed in the shadows to all-out undead assassin. Yeah, Jason is pretty much a zombie from here on out, guys. Andy Ward says, C.J. Graham made a really good Jason, underrated, just as good as the others, but this movie is a lot of people's favorite sequel. Yes, it's true, including CP from All Like It Reviews. It's his favorite movie, period, out of the Friday movies. Cody Archer says, a lot of this was filmed about 25 miles from where I'm from. In my opinion, it's really sad that this movie kind of gave a rebirth to the Friday franchise. Brought him back in a great way and with the gimmick that anybody could have ran with him being more like a Frankenstein-ish character. But of course in the next installment they had to, I'm not sure exactly what they done. So I'm taking it that Cody is not a huge fan of part 7. I like part 7 actually. Steve Bernard says part 7 is cool. He's actually replying to him. And what if someone had the skills to fight Jason? Don't forget that is zombie Jason. So more supernatural elements are coming into the story. And so they had a little back and forth going there. Romero Tudor says, the moment Jason stepped out of that hole, this is the best sequel next to the final chapter. Yeah, like I said, the best entrance of Jason out of the whole franchise. Yuzura Nomura says, this movie gave birth to zombie Jason we all love. Yes. Steve Bernard says, part 2, 4, and 6 are the strongest in the franchise for me. Me too. David Quinn says, my favorite Friday movie. Steve Bernard, how different would this have been with Corey Feldman? That's a good point. That could have been interesting. Cody Leach, who also has a great channel, says, this is one of my favorites in the franchise. Oh, but he's back, the man behind the mask. God, I love that song. I have both those songs on my iPod right now, as a matter of fact. I listen to them constantly. Teenage Frankenstein, here we go. Let me turn it up a little bit. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Take It, Alice. Love this kill so much. Let me turn it down. This is one of my favorite kills in the whole franchise. So creative, and looks like they spent maybe $2.50 to make it. Just a piece of maybe thin sheet metal or plastic, whatever, and just push the face right through it. I guess sheet metal might hurt him a little bit, but yeah. Here we go, here we go. Yes! Oh, that was awesome. Now here's one thing that I think works so well about part 6, among other things. Megan and Tommy. You know, it's hard to pull off chemistry, and for some reason I think they pull it off very well. Like, I was just watching a TV show last night, and there just didn't seem like any on-screen chemistry. It seemed like just actors and actresses, they're just mashing faces together, but there's like nothing real there, you know? Whereas for some reason, and this happened in the 80s too, but in this movie, it seemed like their chemistry was very, very well done. And I attribute a lot of that to the actress that played Megan. She just had this really bubbly demeanor about her, and you felt like she was really into Tommy. And it seems like it'd be something easy to do, but apparently it's not, because it's very rare that I see actors and actresses are able to pull that off. And you'll see like the lighting kind of shift on the outdoor scenes in this movie, because some scenes were shot during the day and some scenes were shot during the night, so they had to kind of manipulate the picture to make it look like night when it wasn't night. That was another Alice Cooper song too, so I guess he has a couple more songs in here. Going into the Drumdums lair real quick, and I'm thinking about changing my background again. That's why I brought you guys in here. Just because I'm never satisfied with anything, and I still have this over here. This is my old background, and I do like the posters, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of incorporate this with this, if you catch my drift. So any suggestions in the comments are welcome. Definitely welcome. But look at this artwork by Emilio Gasca from Instagram. He sent this to me. Wow. Such a great job. I love the crow so much. And he sent this to me as a surprise, and I was just floored by it. So awesome. There's the Myers little classic vintage style figure. Also, my buddy Durant Cinema, he made this little kind of pull-out artwork for me with, of course, Michael Myers on the front. Everybody knows I love Michael Myers. And then here's another Emilio Gasca drawing that I got behind here. I'm going to be taking it off there, Emilio, and I'm going to be putting it over here. Just got to find the right place for it. So, yeah. But anyway, back to Friday Part 6. Sorry to divert, but yeah, we're back to the movie. And Levi, he's over here. He's got his toys. Levi likes his toys. He's got his little yellow whatever that thing is, and then this little guy. But they gotta make this little squeak noise. That's what he likes. He likes the squeak. But you'll see these little things all over the house, you know. And I constantly have to put them back in his little basket of toys. But that's Levi. That's life with Levi. It's worth it though. He's a good dog. He's about 7 years old now. So yeah. And Sheriff is still being a douchebag. Okay, so we got another funny scene coming up here. The kids, the sheriff is telling the kids, hey, just stay inside here. Don't go outside. Just to keep everybody safe. But then the kids say, what were you going to be when you grow up? Love it. Another one of my favorite kills from the franchise is coming up here. The sheriff getting folded in half backwards. which has happened twice in the series. Freddy vs. Jason, another character got folded in half backwards while he was on the bed. But this one I think is even better, because he's slowly folded backwards. And you can't kill Jason like that. You can shoot him 1,000,000 times, he's still going to keep getting up. And we got Megan here taking care of the kids. You know, let them know that, hey, everything's going to be okay. We got this.
Stop. Lie down. Stay there. What do you think? I think we're dead meat.
Yes, I think we're dead meat. Those two kids were great. And we're getting close to the big finale out at the lake. And Tommy versus Jason. That's a cool scene. Another great finale for the series. Oh, you don't want to open a car door and a head roll out like that. It's just not good. And here we go. Big scene coming up. Dad wants to protect Megan. But nope, it's not going to work out. Here we go, right here. Love it. Oh, yes. Every time I see that scene, it's just like seeing it for the first time. Come on, maggot head. Here we go, maggot head. Here we go. We are closing in on the finale, coming up real soon. Jason's going after Tommy. Got a few more shout outs here on Killer Flicks. Let's jump right into it. Lee Debo Ducker's News says, my favorite Friday. Matt Souter says, I've only seen the original. I think I need a shout out for that one alone and to get my ass in gear. Hell yeah, Matt, you need to get your ass in gear. This is a fun series. Taylor Castle says, his resurrection scene is amazing. Yes, it is, Taylor. Philip Williams says, it's 100% going to happen. I'll watch you watching this, and then I will need to watch it too. Such a good movie. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so glad I did this. This is such a fun one to throw in. Lee Roberts says, it's a shame that the MPAA butchered these movies, especially the sheriff death scene, and most of the death scenes from Part 7. Yeah, Part 7 really, I think, got the worst of it, because even the sheriff's death scene in this one, it's still pretty effective. I don't know what exactly they cut out of that one, but back in the 80s, the MPAA, they were just so hard on low-budget horror movies. And Friday, I think, caught the worst of it. James Lowen says, love it. And Tara L. Baggett says, my favorite one. Awesome. I'm a teenage Frankenstein. The local freak with the twisted mind. What's up, guys? Looks like I'm gonna have to adjust my camera. Hold on just a sec. Let's see how that is. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. We can roll with that. Yeah. Let's adjust this just a little bit. There we go. All right. So now we're gonna finish the rest of the shout outs. I'm actually in the middle of editing right now, and I'm gonna go over to the shout outs on Killer Flicks. First off, I'm going to give a shout out to Andy Ward. He is on Killer Flicks. He is an artist, and he, from time to time, he will post different drawings that he does, and the guy is just so talented. So I wanted to give him a shout out, and this picture you see on the screen right now is his latest. He's working on a Chucky drawing with Chucky over Andy. So cool looking. Okay, and heading over to the rest of the Killer Flicks comments. We got Dylan Clancy, who I just did Kill Bill Volume 1 for this week. He says, this is how the remake should have been, and if this reboot ever happens, it would be awesome to have a new film with this feel. I completely agree. I don't know why they don't go back to these original first few movies for the style of the remake. That's what everybody wants. Michael Mims says, makes me want to get in a Winnebago and blast Teenage Frankenstein. Hell yeah. Panos Siros, I hope I said that right. Great sequel, one of my favorites. Tom Matthews is great, is a great Tommy Jarvis. The soundtrack is great. I love the sheriff's death. A total 80s awesomeness. Antoine Midnight Mars Thomas, my good friend, he says, oh, this is a good one. The final showdown between Tommy and Jason. And then there's CP from Will I Like It Reviews. He says, oh, say my name, Lee. You have no business watching this without me, FYI. You're right, CP. And Mark Bushnell says, love these films. Shame you can't get them in the UK yet. Yeah, that really sucks. And it really sucks that the box set is out of print now. So if you want it, you have to pay big money. But I think it's region free. So if you have the money, or if you want to spend that much money overseas, you can still get it. If you can find an international shipper. Now I'm going to go over to Twitter and give these shout outs for all the likes I got on that one. Okay, on Twitter I got 9 likes. I got Pedro, Josh Drake, Film Fan 0599, Low Carb Monster 8, Logan, Kretzinger, my good friend Brian Lomax, El Guapo, Matthew Heiser, and Naravar. And then the Instagram shout outs are next. Here we go. Okay, on Instagram, first up we got DRex231. He says, anything Friday the 13th is gold to me, even the crappy Jason Goes to Hell. I can find something I like. Favorite franchise. JRakes34 says, definitely my favorite besides 4. Film Fan 0599 says, what's up, man? CP of Will I Like It Reviews. As if I need to do this. Wherever the red dot goes, you bang. I forgot to point that out during the actual movie. And then Theo's Movie Review says, Drumdums, what's going on? Can you do a Drumdums Watches on Stephen King's It? Can you believe I've never seen Stephen King's It? That's one that's definitely on my radar, so I need to watch it first before I do a Drumdums Watches. But thank you. Oh, real quick, I have to answer a question before I leave this section. Brian Lomax asked me to answer this question, so I said, hey, I'll do it right here on camera. Which is the best, the worst of Halloween or the worst of Friday the 13th? Worst Halloween is Resurrection. Worst Friday the 13th, to me anyway, is Part 8. I would say the better of those two is Part 8. And at one time I actually said Part 8 was the worst horror movie of all time or something like that. But I take that back. I think Resurrection's worse than that. Does that mean Resurrection's the worst horror movie of all time? Probably not. I'm sure there's a worse horror movie out there. But that's all subjective. So yeah, there's my answer to that question, Brian. Thanks, buddy. Teenage Frankenstein. So yeah, there you go. There's the shout outs. But we are closing in. This is the exciting finale. And I think this was a good send-off for Tommy Jarvis. You know, I think if this is the last movie that Tommy Jarvis is in, it's worthy. It's a good one because he gave it his all in this movie. Tom Matthews played him to perfection, I think. I mean, it's hard to say he's the best version of Tommy Jarvis because the child is very different than the adult. So I guess you could say he's the best adult version of Tommy Jarvis, but he's great. And you can see he's going at it with Jason, you know. Almost like he's not even afraid of him anymore. And here we are, we're done. We finished part 6. Now this is probably going to be the last Friday I do for a while because when I posted my choices for this week, I kind of sense that people are kind of getting tired of the Fridays and the Halloweens and the Nightmare on Elm Streets for the Drumdums Watches. So I think I'm going to put those to rest for a while. And we're gonna do some other horror movies from now on. And I'm definitely gonna be doing either The Descent or Night of the Creeps tomorrow. So look for that. So looking forward to that. Those both are 2 of my favorite horror movies. Love them to death. So that's gonna be really fun. And then whichever one I don't do, we're gonna do that one the following week. And I'll keep posting choices from then on. You know, I'll give you 3 choices and you vote. And I'm going to try to get creative here and there. And if you guys have some suggestions for Drumdums Watches, go ahead and throw them in the comments. But anyway, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you guys do for me. And as a matter of fact, this morning I just dropped my Bride of Chucky review. Having a great time with the Chucky series. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all you guys do for my channel. Really enjoy doing these Drumdum Watches. Also, if you look down below, you can see all my social media links. If you like what I'm doing, please hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and he's back. The man behind the mask.